E3 goodness from IGN Live. I'm Naomi Kyle, and the fun isn't over just yet. We've got even more exclusive game demos to show off, so let's get right to it with Splinter Cell Blacklist. Take it away, guys.
Thank you, Naomi. Splinter Cell Blacklist is one of my most anticipated games. So Max, thank you so much for bringing it by the IGN Live stage here.
Thank you, thank you.
So Blacklist is set 6 months after Conviction.
Exactly.
Another game that I loved. And you were just telling me a little bit about the premise. Explain that for our viewers.
Well, the idea of the premise came from me and talking. I was talking with our lead writer, Richard Dansky, and he told me that the United States have soldiers in more than 2/3 of the countries around the world. And when he told me that, I was like, wow, that's crazy. We have to do something with that. So the idea is that we have a group of rogue nations that are calling themselves the Engineers, and they give an ultimatum to the United States. Take your troops out of our countries, or we're bringing the war to you. And when they do that, they release the Blacklist, which is a series of escalating attacks on U.S. interests. And they all have a timer, so you have 7 days to go, to go away, or we're doing this, or we're doing that, or we're doing that.
So this is your E3 demo, which we're playing live for you here. So sort of explain what's going on.
Well, this is a later map in the game, and what we wanted to show a lot of diversity, so there's a little bit of climbing and all that. And basically the idea is that the Engineers have successfully done one of their attacks, American Fuel. So they've taken control of a liquid natural gas tanker, and they rammed it into a refinery. So you can imagine lots of explosions. The Engineers are also hackers, so what they've done is they've used the Stuxnet type virus, and they've broken all the fire suppressant systems from the facility. So the first thing that Sam needs to do is to give control to Charlie, who's one of the team members of Fort Echelon, to the fire suppression systems, so that Charlie can help the refinery retake control of the fire. And then later on, we're going to realize that there's an engineer leader that's there. Sam's going to try to catch him.
So you're continuing to use that mechanic from Conviction, where your objectives are sort of displayed around the world environment. I think that looks really cool.
Yeah, I think it looks great, and it's also a good way for us to not only tell the player what to do, but to attract him in the good place, in the good direction, right? So it's kind of a good way to do two things at the same time. Direct the player, give him a visual waypoint, and I think it looks great also.
So here we're seeing some verticality. He's
exactly.
Very agile.
We've made a lot of efforts on Blacklist to make Sam a lot more fluid in his actions. So we've worked on the 3D navigation. We have something we call active sprint, which is basically when you hold down the A button, Sam's going to sprint. He's going to automatically jump over objects, climb different things.
Yeah, it's like I was saying, I was a big fan of Conviction, and you were saying that fans of Conviction should find a lot to like in Blacklist as well.
I think we've definitely, After Conviction, we looked at all of the reviews, and we looked at the fan feedback, and we realized that there's really three types of Splinter Cell players, right? There's the ghost, hardcore stealth guy that doesn't want to get detected, doesn't want to be seen, doesn't want to take out anyone lethally, right? So we've added a lot of features for these guys, like dragging dead bodies, putting them in bins, the ability to whistle to attract the AI, right? Little things like that. On the other end of the spectrum, there's the action player, right? So that's the guy that wants to kick down doors, throw some grenades, do some headshots. So we've revamped the controls to make them a little bit more like other action adventure games. So zooming on the left trigger, things like that. So that as soon as you grab the controller, you feel at home. And then there's the type of player that we've kind of created on Conviction, which is the Panther player, right? The Panther player, right? So the player that he wants to be lethal, he wants to take out some enemies, but he wants to do it in a stealth, quick way, right? So that's the type of player that wants to throw an EMP grenade, turn off all the lights, and then when the lights come back on, there's three guys on the ground, right?
I think I'm a Panther player.
Yeah, a lot of people are Panther players. I think it's a good mix. It's a good balance.
Do you still have Mark and Execute?
Yeah, of course. We've kept Mark and Execute. I think it's a good feature.
Yeah, I love it.
And it's what we've done for Blacklist is that before you would earn the ability to execute only when you would do a hand-to-end takedown. And now what we've done is we've changed that into a gauge where it's split into 4 parts. If you do a hand-to-end takedown, the 4 parts are full, so you can execute. But if you just kill a guy, you're going to get 1/4 of the game, so you can fill it slowly. So the idea is to be able to, for players as they are progressing, they can have that gauge filled more often, so they can execute more often if they want. this is probably my favorite part of the demo. It's really it's showing, I guess, the core gameplay of the game, the little sandbox design that we have. So these are 4 enemies that are coming. They're a later enemy. They're the more heavily shielded, protected enemies. What's special about them is that they're super lethal. They've got shotguns. They're going to take out Sam like super quickly if they enter combat. So see now Chris is using a sticky camera. He's looking around. And another thing that's special about these enemies is that you can't take them out from the front. So you need to get them from behind. I'm always stressed here because we don't know what our AI is systemic. It's not scripted. So we never know exactly what's going to happen. So okay, he's going that way. So now Chris is probably going to try to get the guy from the back. He's taking his time because if he goes too fast, if he sprints, he's going to get detected. So you don't want to do that. There we go. And then he's going into human shield so that he can bring the guy, maybe kill him a bit further so that his friend doesn't see him. Right, there you go. And see at the bottom, that's our economy system. Okay. So he got 100 Panther points for a silent kill. So the 3 play styles that I talked about. So we're rewarding you in the game depending on how you play with those play styles in mind.
So you can spend those points on upgrades?
On everything. You can customize Sam's op suit. So the torso, the pants, the boots, the goggles. So here's the goggles with footprint tracking. So that's an upgrade that you can get for the goggles. And I think what's cool with the economy system is that it works on Sam. So it works on co-op because in co-op you're playing Sam. And it also works on Spy versus Mercs, so you can upgrade and customize your Spies and your Mercs when you're playing Spies versus Mercs. And finally, this is cool. Now Chris has the sticky cam. He's gonna release sleeping gas to take out that guy.
From the cam?
Yeah, but he's got a helmet, so he needs to remove the helmet with the mark and execute. So
That's
execute,
awesome.
remove the helmet, fall asleep. Thank you. And then Chris has been, he's gonna do it. He's gonna use a incendiary grenade to take out that last guy. A little bit of ghost play, a little bit of Panther play. Yeah. A good bit of action.
So your menu, your item pop-up screen is divided into lethal and non-lethal items? Is that right?
Exactly. It's really, I think the beauty of Splinter Cell has always been about choice and about the player, taking care of the situation the way you wanted. We're not a game where you absolutely have to do it a certain way, right? So we've really made sure that we're always giving a lot of options, and that meant a lot of options in the level design. It meant a lot of options with the type of enemies you're facing, and obviously a lot of options with your gadgets, your tools that you have. So here, the engineer leader's running away, so Chris is active sprinting, trying to catch that engineer. We've been practicing a couple of things here. You should do a mark and execute in motion, which is a new thing. A conviction, it was stationary, now we're keeping it in motion. You're always trying to keep Sam fluid, jump over.
Sorry, Sam. I can do that again, but it'll take some time. We'll find another way.
Zip line, coming back, always fun. Get from above some zip line on this guy.
Very cool. Oh, nice.
So that's a combat kill. And the idea, the way we've balanced the economy system is that if you're playing Assault, you're going to get some money. If you're playing Panther, you're going to get more money. Okay. And if you're playing Ghost, you're going to get even more money. Yeah. Because Ghost is the hardest.
Sure.
You need to be more patient. Exactly. This is a hard part. So we do it from above here. It's going to mark a guy, mark 2, and then...
Whoa!
We've been practicing so much this move. You have no idea how many times we died practicing this back in Toronto.
I'm so excited for this game. It's great.
We're escaping in an ambulance. Get the UAV up and track it. Hang on. I got this.
And what's interesting in this map is that this is a map that's really about the team coming together, right? Because Sam's the leader now, so the idea is that in this map, Sam is like talking with Charlie a lot, who's the hacker of the team, and Charlie's trying to help him because he's got control of the facility.
I see. Is this the demo wrapping up here?
Yeah. We made a little kind of trailer at the end where we're showing single player co-op in Spy versus Mercs.
Right. Yeah. Have you made any changes to Spies versus Mercs this time around?
Yeah, it was the #1 requested feature from Conviction. The fans love that, and it's cool because it's asymmetrical, right? It's Spies, third-person view, like a lot of verticality climbing, super lethal in close quarter combat, versus the mercenaries who are in first-person, right? They're the guys with a lot of armor, a lot of firepower. So it's really interesting. We've got a couple of modes. We're talking about the Spy versus Mercs classic, which is 2 versus 2. You know, the Mercs with the flashlights, a little bit claustrophobic. And then the other one we're talking about is Splinter Cell, Spy versus Mercs Blacklist, which is 4 against 4. It's a little bit more faster pace, and the objective in those modes is the spies need to go hack terminals, and the mercenaries need to defend the area and prevent them from doing that.
Very cool.
That's a little bit of co-op. In co-op, you're playing Briggs, which is a new character. He's part of 4th Echelon now.
Play through the whole game in co-op?
It's a different. It's
a
exactly
separate mode.
We've got 14 different co-op maps. Most of them are also playable in solo. So you can play single player the whole campaign. You can play most of the co-op maps solo or with a friend. And these are really made to grind if you want with the economy system, right? So we've got like different difficulty modes, and you can just jump in, jump out, and play them and really have fun with those.
How'd you fit all this stuff in the game? There's a lot of stuff in this game.
There's a lot. We've got actually 3 studios making it. We've got Ubisoft Toronto, Ubisoft Montreal, and Ubisoft Shanghai working on it.
I've seen all I need to see. I'm really excited for Splinter Cell Blacklist. It's out August 20th?
Exactly.
Excellent.
On 360, PlayStation 3, Wii U, and PC.
So cool. Max, thank you so much for coming by.
Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, sneak back to Naomi.
Thanks, Damon. I'm actually a huge Splinter Cell fan, just to let you know. Thanks for the rundown. So if you need a breather from all the awesomeness, tell us what game you want to win IGN's People's Choice Award for E3. Just head on over to go.ign.com/E3 People's Choice. Or stick with us for the latest on Company of Heroes 2 coming up next.
The big action sequence at the end of this movie.